So welcome back. Since the last video we've managed to get the throttle connected as well, and I'm just going to show you a bit of a run up the Kawarra River near Queenstown here to show you how it all looks. So the controls are set up and calibrated now. They're actually better than the Thrustmaster I originally had. So here we are just flying up the Kawarra Gorge, and very quickly we'll come to Queenstown Airport. So yeah, quite pleased with the results, and but just a matter of looking at the range of each of the aileron and the elevator, and then putting that into Mobi flight. So here we are coming up to the airport and just flying down the length of that, and you can see the aileron response is quite smooth, and likewise pitching up, pitching down. And there's Queenstown coming up on the right hand side. So that's what it's looking like in real life. I'm still using an F18 out the front here rather than an actual A4, but nice and smooth. So I'm just going to put that on pause, and then I'll show you the other things that I've actually been doing. Still got the simulator mounted on a trailer, and eventually that will change. So I'm just going to jump down the front here, and I'll show you the other changes that I've made. So up the front we now have the connections going through an expansion board on the top. Now I've had a bit of an issue with these because these arrived from China. They're only about $7 each, so they're quite cheap, but they arrive on a foam pad like this. They're actually pushed into that foam pad, and you can see underneath it they've got a whole bunch of pins. And you can imagine if these were in a loose package, which they were, it's very easy for the pins to be damaged and then not align. So they're a tight fit as it is. I had to straighten some of the pins. But when I put on this expansion board into the Arduino, the aileron wouldn't work. So I had to disassemble it, and I found in actual fact there was a fault with the expansion board. So fortunately I bought two of them, and I put the second board in, and it works just fine. So this allows for permanent connections rather than just using a breadboard or just putting it straight into the Arduino, which are loose fittings. So there's screw fittings that hold the wires tight, and in there we've got the three analogues for the elevator, the aileron and the throttle. It's A0, A1 and A2, so they're all locked in there. Now we've also got three earths and three powers, 5 volt. And with this board it actually has in all places you can put in power in 3 places and also earths, but of course one of them is right around the back here. That's a 5 volt. Sitting around this side we've got a black wire for another earth, and then all the other ones are at the top there. So what I'm going to do is I'll revert back to using a little mini breadboard like this, and then I'll put a little block on the end, a 5-pin block, and of course those all those holes along the top there, they're all lined up. So by putting one block in there, I can put 5 volt connections there, and on the other side I could put 5 ground or earths. So that's the next stage. The other thing we've managed to do is I've got 2 wires and 2 new plugs. So one is for the sitting back in there, which is for the flight controls, and then sitting down here was the other plug, which I've wired up for the throttle. So that's where we're at this stage. The next stage we basically to start mounting the stuff more permanently inside the simulator, and then also wire up a plug for the HOTAS. So I want to make all of the buttons and switches work on the throttle, and also the buttons and switches working on the stick, and I'll link those up with things like undercarriage, flaps, speed brake, things like that, and then be much easier to use. So I look forward to having you back in the next video.